Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. If you've ever left, if you haven't, well, then, I don't know.
10 seconds remaining.
Thanks for being here, I suppose. My name is Dragondrop, joined
5
by
seconds
PqMz, and this is
remaining.
game number 3 here between EHOME.Keen and CDEC. With a Riki first pick.
Radiant
I
team
believe he was
pick.
banned in the last two games, so what do you make of this now?
I really like Ricky. I think he fell off a bit too much, and though to be fair, people have preferred Conquer Shadow Demon with good reason. They're way more
10 seconds remaining.
reliable throughout all stages of the game. Ricky has to accomplish a lot more,
5 seconds remaining.
so it's understandable, but I don't understand exactly why they go
Reserve
for lifesteal.
tank.
It just be they find it's really good for their comfort zone. Because the hero's fallen off a lot, but
Yeah,
with Slardar, it's you enable it a lot.
there's still strats that work perfectly well with it. I mean, last game we saw a perfect example of that. They were able to ride the momentum. That they would be very surprised if the Batrider didn't get banned out or picked by CDC now. Just
Well, they've got Slardar, so they
yeah,
probably don't have to worry about Batrider unless they want
Dire
the
team
rage
ban.
control through the TPs, etc. It's also a really good dual lane with Ricky. It applies a lot of pressure.
yep,
But the thing with Lifestealer is if you second pick it or first round, it gives the other team so much information. If you can get it around fourth or fifth pick, it can do a lot
10
of work.
seconds
But
remaining.
now they have the option of drafting around it, and
5
the simple things like having the ability to cancel TP through
Radiant
rage
team ban.
makes the game completely different for you. You can't play anywhere near as aggressively. And then you have to spend bans on counters, which there are so many of.
yep. Well, it's gonna
10
be a matter
seconds
of who
remaining.
blinks first, literally and figuratively, I suppose, between Slot and the Batrider.
5 seconds remaining.
Initiation, counter initiation, but CDC with the help of the Riki had the
Reserve
potential to get
time.
this free intelligence here, and also forcing out a tremendous amount of sentries from the side of EHOME.Keen potentially, cutting into the economy of the supports as well, just to try and guard yourself up against this Riki scouting out for a safe Batrider gank.
Yeah, the Ricky has the ability to do a lot this game through everything you said, on top of smoke screening Slardar blink stuns, smoke screening the lifestealer before you can get rage off.
Dire
He can
team
cause
ban.
so many problems. And if they get the option of picking their mid laner at a time later than eHome, then they can exploit that matchup on top of the potential dual lane with the Batrider. So I think the only way eHome deal with
10
this is they
seconds
need,
remaining.
like, Lifesteal is very good at dealing with a dual
5
off lane or
seconds
high
remaining.
pressure off lanes, but they need two supports that can do the same thing. Like if they
Reserve
get two
time.
extremely squishy, low damage supports, things like Rubik, Avenge, they're going to have a lot of problems this game. I think
Radiant
they need
team
to
ban.
shore up their lanes a lot. Have heroes that can move around. Things like Ogre to fight the Ricky. Ogre's probably not the best example, but just something that's tanky that doesn't
Yeah.
fall flat on its
10
face.
seconds
It's very
remaining.
important this game for them.
5 seconds remaining.
What but the ogre would that be though? As a taking
Spirit
spots. I mean,
Breaker, Night Stalker, two very
Reserve
good vision
time.
heroes, both work very well against Ricky at different points of the game. Same thing with Batrider. Like being a Batrider into Night Stalker is a literal nightmare.
oh
Once
yeah.
he gets Darkness up, your initiation range literally gets halved.
Especially once he gets the Agnum Scepter up, you literally cannot sneak up on him.
I mean, then you have to smoke. That's your only option. But I
Dire
think those
team
kind of
pick.
heroes would help a lot. And they're also fitting in the whole beefy run at you kind of style.
Radiant
Go back
team
for the
pick.
Oracle for the time being, just have an extra safety mechanism. Also great counter to the Batrider. Be in range whenever he laughs at someone that isn't the Oracle himself, then obviously he's gonna be able to false promise to break it out immediately. It's the main
10
idea, and
seconds
a
remaining.
little bit susceptible to Riki though, I would imagine.
5
As long as
seconds
he
remaining.
doesn't stand like off to the right in the laning stage where his carry can't really come and
Reserve
help him,
time.
he should be fine. It's just gonna depend what their other support is as to how strong they are against a potential dual lane. But Oracle offers so much damage, Lifestealer's very strong in the safe lane position anyway. CDEC might not even opt to contest that lane. They could go and have the Rikiva leech and the Batrider start in the woods,
Dire
or
team pick.
just abandon the lane entirely.
It's just so dangerous. Even if you put the Batrider there, who normally can deal with melee cores, but not against a life stealer who can just turn around and use so quickly. Can purge off
I think he
the.
gets free experience
10
in this lane
seconds
if
Yeah.
remaining.
there's no stuns, because all he has to do is buy boots and a TP and tangos, and then
5
he can walk up
seconds
there
remaining.
anytime.
Radiant
Bounty
team
kind of
pick.
throws a wrench into that, but if you know he's elsewhere, then Batrider can get experience in the lane quite comfortably. I like the Wyvern pick though, I think that's really smart. It goes so well at dealing with Lifestealer.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah. All locked down
5
through
seconds
BKB.
remaining.
I think just it
Just yeah, Lifesteal being a single target hero,
Reserve time.
Bold Embrace can kind of negate quite a bit of your initial burst impact that you have from your slow and your rage.
10 seconds remaining.
and with how they want to initiate fights, it's very easy to just dump the
Dire
curse on a
team
target
ban.
that's near the Slardar, and then Lifestealer goes and hits that. Probably kills it if it's a support or a very underfarmed Slardar, depending which stage of the game we're at. And now they go for a really high mobility carry in the Morphling, which is
10
going to make
seconds remaining.
Lifestealer's life a lot harder. So the
5
second he does
seconds
get any
remaining.
chance to connect, the Wyvern can counterplay, and then by the time the embrace is over, Morphling probably
Reserve
has the
time.
ability to waveform away, go Scepter or E-Blade himself, or replicate away, or, you know, 4 staffs from the rest of the team.
Yep.
It's looking very similar to last game where EHOME just, they have to get the ball rolling, and once they do, they can cause CDEC a lot of problems, especially with track goal that's going to make the snowball even better than last game. But if they never start that train, I feel like CDEC are just going to have the answers.
Radiant team ban.
Because I feel like the lanes are always going to go CDEC's way. Morphling and Batrider are 2 amazing heroes at pushing lanes. Wyvern, if he's not having to play the babysitting role and sitting behind his carry constantly, can also do it. Whereas EHOME, they don't have lane push at all.
10 seconds
Lifestealer is
remaining.
mediocre at best. The rest of the heroes, they
5
can't kill
seconds
waves at
remaining.
all. So it's going to be a big problem for them. I think their mid laner has to do it in one way or another. Otherwise, they're just not going to have
Radiant
control of the
team
map to
pick.
go for any ganks.
CDC also looking for mid laner. Do you think they go back for the Dragon again, just as someone who's
I think it's
tanky?
a horrible DK game. I think they just want something Puck
10
could work.
seconds remaining.
Though they might want something that scales a bit better because you don't want to
5
go too
seconds
all in on the
remaining.
Morphling. Just something that doesn't lose for lane to bounty +1 would be
Reserve time.
good enough.
Something that yeah, okay, it's gonna be the puck as I said.
Also
Dire
offers
team
so much potential with Ricky, like Smoke Cloud on top of Coil is ridiculous synergy. It's really good at finding Oracle in fights, so you can have the Batrider lasso one target, Puck can go find him with the Ricky vision, and then it
Okay.
just shores up their initiation. It also gives more wave push, allows them to split push the game better, and EHOME just go pure like Russian Dota. We just want to run at you. They don't want to worry about where their waves are. They just want to track someone up, run at them, collect their money, and then have Viper to secure the Roshians and hit towers.
Viper's hero that can peak very early with the rest of them, so the question becomes whether CDC have enough tools to actually deal with this type of aggression here when it comes out.
I think if their laning stage goes well, they get levels on Wyvern and Puck, they have the tools to delay the game. But if the bounty, and especially Slardar, can apply a lot of pressure early and stop the levels happening, get the first 1 or 2 infest bombs off, maybe get some track kills before Wyvern hits 6, then they're going to be able to apply a lot of pressure. It's just risky in the respect they have to accomplish quite a lot before the 12-15 minute mark to even be considered even. Because if they're not ahead, I think their draft is just naturally behind. Sure, they don't scale badly, but it doesn't matter how strong your cores are if you don't have the flow of the map. Like if the lanes are always pushed in and you're spreading out into a lineup that has Batrider, Ricky, Park, Morphling, you're just going to get picked off again and again, and you're never going to get to show how strong you are in fights.
Yep.
So they need the game to not get to that point, which they can very easily do. It's just, you know, relying on it is risky in my opinion.
See how it works out as we head into game number 3 here, the deciding one for this best of 3. Shanghai Dodo opens CDC. We've got June here on that offlane Batrider. Down here we've got Feb on that mid Puck. November playing the Morphling. October on the Winter Wyvern. And September playing the Riki. Very themed lineup that they have right now. Very themed names. Side of EHOME, we've got XI once again on the Slaughter, just like game 1. One Chinese character man playing the Viper mid, JDH on the support Oracle. The other Chinese character man on the Bounty Hunter roaming about, and the one position once again in the hands of QD on the Lifestealer. One blows, looks like 2 Bounty runes might go the way of EHOME here. The Bounty Hunter being invis, snagging that away right in front of the Puck. And the second one also actually secured by Morphling as CDC comes in with quite a bit of damage to Slaughter. Rush will keep him from keeping that Overvenom slow up around. And the Stealth will keep him safe. Still, some region forced out and a lot of mana being taken away. Okay, Ricky denies himself. Nothing to worry about. But this offlane Slaughter, how well should he be doing here? What can he expect out of this lane? Okay. PqMz, hello?
Get it crashed.
Okay, there we go.
Hello?
Hello? I hear you now. I was wondering where you've been at, but yeah. I'm gonna have an offlane Slaughter up against the Winter Wyvern and the Morphling. You think you should actually be getting a lot here?
I don't think you'll... They worry about the bounty moving in. It's the same thing with Ricky. Those
Speaking of Bounty and Ricky, yeah,
easily mess with any.
Still cutting out a little bit. So, okay, there's dust now onto Ricky. I really want to punish him for trying to kill the courier, and now, well, the invis work against you with the dust slowing you down. You come back into that, but ultimately not enough damage to finish him off before that dies down. You can drag the creeper in here to the hard camp, so you can snag some extra experience here and there. Oh, that's a sentry too, okay. Another dust, and this time around, September might just bite the bullet here, trying to deny himself some creeps, but no, first blood. Weirdest first blood that I've seen in a while, but does go to ehome.k. Neutral is deny for Slaughter. Does get forced out of the
they
offlane.
used 2 dusts and a sentry?
2 dusts and a sentry, yeah. What's the dire side sentry?
Oh, okay. You can argue that I'm still loading in, so I can't. The first load of the Dota launch sucks. Takes forever.
No feeling, man. Yeah, it's also the weirdest first blood ever. Kinda sad you missed it, but hey. 2 dust and a sentry used by the Bounty Hunter to kill the Ricky. Yeah, mid lane. Okay, now Bounty Hunter making his way in there. Park very far forward. Does have the orb available though. Get himself out.
Soon.tm, dude. Soon.
Soon. Outside of that though, lane's going pretty much as you'd expect. Slaughter, soaking experience as the waves on the tower. It's potential there for CDC to actually get some kills. Meanwhile up top we have the Batrider who's level 4 already. Bit of a stack on hard chem 2 for EHOME. They're gonna have to make sure to control and not give up to the Batrider shenanigans.
If the bat has a good game, it can be so scary. The heroes, sure, Oracle's good against it, but if you don't have the levels, then yeah, bat can run amok.
It's middle lane though, as Puck is being crushed, but it's bounty +1.
You'd expect this though. I think the hero is gonna do fine as the game goes out of the laning stage. It's just gonna suffer a bit here.
Good movement from the courier here. That sentry middle lane helping out just to avoid the snipe attempt from the bounty from Ricky again. Yeah, this bounty he's spending a lot of time here. Even making sure to try and keep the puck low as long as possible, but yeah, he's been playing defensively enough. Getting some help from the Motorwire now perhaps, but he's being tagged.
It's nice to get this ward though. Kind of surprised they didn't give it to Puck. Maybe his shared Tango was on Cordell. So that's a lot of regen. But more vision to deal with the bounty is always useful.
Yep.
But I like this movement. Moving down to assist the Slider makes a lot of sense and just put pressure on the Morphling. So other lanes don't really need him. The Lifestealer is doing fine top. Sure, he's giving a lot up to the Batrider, but he can do fine in this lane. And then obviously Viper's just going to manhandle mid lane. Puck's not quite at a point where he can kill the waves as quickly as he would like. He needs level 7. He also needs his bottle.
Started getting some extra help.
Now.
This makes a lot of sense as I said, because if you don't get a blink dagger at a decent timing on start at the very least, then Lifesteal is only going to be so effective without that, right? Sure, you can still go in, you can still kind of take rolls, but you're gonna have a harder time getting the initiation, getting that instant pick off that you're looking for.
Yeah, and it's not just helping the Slider, it's more about what you're doing to stop the Morphling or force the Ricky to come down here to then further let your other lanes succeed. This move is just very, very smart. It sets them up for multiple things to go well.
Like that scan as well from the Dire. Trying to figure out whether the Riki would try and push out forward.
Bountiful.
September playing very timidly right now, just for the right opportunity. Still scouts 2 supports in the backline to stay now. Still trying to go for the Slaughter with Smoke Cloud and the extra burst. Crush comes out, Verify not enough to keep him safe now. Might be able to get a couple of trades, but well, don't quite have the damage to make it work. Or maybe they do. With the Bounty Hunter finishing up the Morphlings, so 2-for-1 trade. Taken down with Water Guy.
Didn't stick. Otherwise that would have been a really good engagement for them. Whereas now you can kind of warrant it from EHOME and say, well, at least we got the Morphling and we got some solo XP on our bounty to put him really close to level 6.
Yep.
Like being 5 at 6 minutes is pretty good. If he can get track online pre-10, you're feeling very comfortable out of the game. Which I don't think will happen if he sits in this lane, so I'd like for him to move a bit. Especially now the wave's in a position where Slider can farm it and you've just died twice.
So we're back, just recharge on mana for the time being to it. Mid lane could use some more attention again here, as Puck has been able to catch up an okay amount in terms of last hits.
You're never going to completely box him. And unfortunately they place another ward on top of the sentry that de-warded the previous ward. That's a lot of vision lost for EHOME.
Up on lane again, Smoke Screen. Decent enough position here, the Crush still comes out. And taking damage is not enough. Bit of a turn on perhaps as rotation comes through. Arct almost dies to the Shuri toss, but he will die to JDH's Purifying Flames. Now the dust comes through, they'll also find the Reiki is. It's also QD. Showing his face on lifesteal. Lasso comes through, but West Downfall Morphling commits in deeper here. But they don't quite find a kill quickly enough onto JDH. It does require Puck to come in and finally turn us around. Rage, bit of a miss micro there. Going back and forth, taking a lot of extra losses, and now the other mid also making his way through. The TP will be cancelled, so Nov should also end up falling here, unless the strength morph is good enough without the mana to continue this. Not gonna be enough health points, and now, well, didn't Riki die at the beginning of this? I have no idea. Turns around, they do get some more dust and look for the Bounty Hunter, but this time around the Crush comes through. This fight just goes and goes. June will fall as the Viper turns around for the right clicks after a couple of extra heals. And I don't even know what's going on anymore. Fab in a lot of trouble. Gets the silence off and the kill before the Crush can seal his own fate. What is going on here?
Early game Dota respawn times are less than the time it takes for you to back off. So overall, I'm not. The gold graph says it favors eHome quite substantially. I'd more be worried about the fact Bounty's level 6 now. Oracle's closing in on it as well. And those are the kind of tools that eHome need to kickstart the game.
That's what they kind of drafted for, right? This is around timing between the 10 and 20-minute mark. Slaughter also almost level 6, so there it is now. So if he gets into a fight, he's gonna be able to provide some extra damage. Form of the minus armor. Lifesteal can convert that quite nicely. Already has his value Blightstone and now going for the armor as you would expect.
Yeah, the hero's item build's pretty standard.
Yeah,
You have a
item
nice thing is that
despite his deaths, he managed to pick himself up the Blink Dagger.
yeah, he had it 8 minutes, which is about as quick as you can ask for timing wise. They just need to convert some kills off it. Problem is they don't have
In good
detection.
position. Oh no, they don't have any dust. I'm still gonna try and go for it, QD. Not quite getting a message until now. I guess there is an Oracle. No false promise available. Still some saving potential. Back over the other spells, so CDC is gonna have to abandon this particular attempt.
Going for a gank like that without dust when there's invis heroes is just so sloppy.
Well, EHOME.Keen not making the same mistake. They do have the detection. Sentry into the track. Easy for Riki to die.
That's 2 hero track. Well, 1 hero if you're not including the fact Bounty gets track gold regardless.
That's
It's not a
okay for
massive
you.
problem for CDEC, but it's something that is better that happens now rather than later, because that smoke's not massively important, but it would have just been a nice pick-me-up after how the bottom lane fight went. Now it's probably a bit of frustration, like why don't we have dust? I mean, come on, we're smoking as 4 heroes into a bounty. Like, why don't we have dust? But at the end of the day, they're still making space for their Morphling. His farms, not too bad considering he had 3 heroes in his lane for a good 4 or 5 minutes. And the more they can make space for him, the better this game's gonna be. They still have all their towers as well, so the jungle's not gonna get too invaded. They just kind of need to sentry and ward the choke points. Because this can't happen.
That was very quick. Even a track kill? Did he even get it off?
No, he didn't track. You don't risk that.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the genetic crit from Invis and Infest damage was enough.
Bottom tower is under attack.
I'm not seeing too many health points at a particular moment in time, so hey.
Dyer's top tower
Gotta
is
take
under
the easy
attack.
kills on this guy while you can, otherwise you might just slip through your fingers.
Radiant's
Now
top
middle lane,
tower is
Viper
under
up on a high ground, does have the maxims just delivered now, plus the help from the Oracle. As the fight rages on here, nice little smoke screen into this coil combo. They do finish off the Oracle, now the last onto the Viper, he's still tanking through a lot of this. Now XI comes in, a little bit more damage if you want to try and turn this around. Viper still ends up falling. Drags come through, but it was a full 5-man commitment here for CDC. Okay. That was an attempt that did not work out. He almost got 2, but the Tributar's not doing enough damage with the bounce.
That's the timing where eHome just pick up their mech and they get wiped. Sure, it wasn't a full team fight on their end,
are fortified.
but that's really, really good for CDEC. That's like the timing they're going to be most scared about when Viper just finishes mech, Lifestealer's got his armlet up, he's even got stuff on top of that, that's how farmed he is.
Some good crowd control as well coming through, with the coil smoke screen combo that you mentioned earlier. Just taking out the Oracle. If there was a false promise in this fight, maybe it would have turned out differently. Maybe it would have prompted the Lifestealer to come in as well, who now got himself a nice little creep to work with, Mud Golem. Come in,
Not the
maybe.
stealthiest initiation option though.
Oh, but hey, what you can get.
Yeah, they
Made
need
up
to
for
kind
the
of like one and
bowler.
done.
There it is. Fake out the phase shift. Now looking for the Winter Wyvern, and they do have enough magic damage to burst through the Cold Embrace.
It's so good if you micro the golems as well when you kill them within first.
Radiant structures are fortified.
It's not something you see too often.
Sentry comes out, maybe a little bit too late.
They don't want to fight this, they just want to stall it as much as possible to force EHOME to commit longer. Use the puck to depush and make space for the other heroes to get at least something out of the map. Because while they won the last fight where Viper just got his mech, they won it like 4v5, sorry 4v3,
Yep.
5v3 maybe. They're
Well,
not
they were
gonna
all
have
very
the same
split up as
result on a
well.
5-on-5.
They're all very split up, and like Slaughter came in way too late.
This is
Counter
really
was
good though, like they're
yeah.
splitting the map, they're getting free pickoffs. They might lose Ricky, but I doubt it.
Life
He
stealer,
just
no
picks
extra
maps
help.
That's nice and clean. That's kind of what I was on about with EHOME not ever gonna have the flow of the map, because if they start splitting up to defend their tier 1 towers like that, and CDEC are in position, that's how they're gonna kind of equalize this deficit that EHOME are gonna get through pickoffs and track kills. And as long as they're not eye figures behind, I think that the game's not necessarily even, but completely winnable for them still. You know,
As
you
the
see the same
TP's
thing
now
again.
coming through. Dust onto Bounty Hunter. And in the backline, see
Are they gonna
Fabi's
pop now?
okay. You're not actually
That's really
retreat
good.
back to zone side of the map. Sunset was tried and amplified, so that's an easy kill. Now, perhaps momentum for ig.v. They did just pick up the blink on the Slaughter. Try and make use of that if they can. Again. Bounty
They've
Hunter,
also got
let's
really
see this
nice vision
initiation.
behind the, well, beside the tier 2 mid. Slightly unusual placement, so it's not getting clipped by sentries.
Rotation up top. They do have a creep if here, Viper pushing everyone in, so have some pressure on a tier 2. Without the puck, they don't really want to fight this, and even with the puck, it's no coil for another 20 seconds.
It's scary to fight into Veil Nuke, so like all their heroes do an insane amount of magical damage, barring their.
I'd find a Winter Wyvern here, he does not know what's happening, he still gets a Cold Embrace off, and June with the counter initiation, last on the Bounty Hunter now. It's only QD, does get the kill, but well, the Winter Scourge is keeping them in place for a little bit longer, and now silenced up, no more rage for another couple of seconds. Should still be tanky enough to deal with that in September. Trying to deal with the Orc on the side, false props himself, now there's a bit of a smoke. Keep them all killing him more than anything else. It's one farm trade in the end. It's kind of crazy considering where that fight was happening.
Yeah, I feel like they should have got punished a bit more, but CDEC just couldn't quite focus their heroes on the same target. They're all really split, going on like 3 individual heroes across their 3 respective cores.
Track again. Okay, once again. Puck forced to go into the side, but this time around no one there to greet him. Oh, trying to cancel that TP. But I think it just came off cooldown, plus a smoke screen would have not allowed it. So good play there from September, ensuring the safe retreat.
Unfortunately, Wyvern didn't get the message though.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, poor Wyvern.
Oh, I guess he lives. They're too scared to stay around for the cooldowns.
Still getting tracks, getting this annoying harassment damage out from the long range bounce. But yeah, it's slowly but surely. I mean, is it enough to take control of the Radiant side jungle? Can CDEC do anything about that at this stage?
Dire's top
No, they just kind of have to migrate to the other team's jungle. I like that. Simultaneous scans, both hitting. Really good awareness from, I'm presuming it was the Morphling who used it, but regardless, it's keeping them alive. And that pretty much guarantees his Linken's in the next 2 minutes. Which is going to make him harder to gank. Because sure, you still have Stardust on to worry about, but you're either not getting tracked or shurikened or amped, so then you can wave into the trees and TP away. And now they get the opportunity to counter smoke as well with the
Oh,
Ricky vision. This could be really, really good if they just kill the slider with
September, he
Sasa.
kept track of this. He knows that there's lifesteal inside of it. He gets the smoke screen and immediately get the slaughter.
They need to outlaw.
Lifestealer, well, unable to really lock onto a target. September just TPs. Park in the back is dragged up, okay. That ultimate just to keep them away, I guess. But now October's in top position. Traded
I
track
think
kill
he
on
was-
4 heroes for it.
He was possibly scared his puck was dying, and Lifestealer is pretty farmed at this stage, so maybe the Oracle dies in some ward there, but I don't think that's too bad. You know, you secure your puck getting out. It's like rather safe than sorry kind of move.
Yeah.
But it's still a favorable engagement overall, like killing the slider. Sure, they probably lose a tiny bit of gold because track is such a good spell when you're getting 4 or 5 heroes in a kill.
Slaughter's gonna
They
go
aren't
back,
getting anything off it. Like, they might get a tiny bit of damage on this tier 2, but they're not going to have enough to take it. They do find the Ricky.
This could be good here, but jump down to the low ground. Still tracked, so they
really good
don't
jump.
know where he's at. But there it is, Blink Crush. Slaughter makes his way through.
I'm kind of surprised he didn't like kite down a bit and towards his team. They probably just decided it's still a bad idea to fight.
Still Mech and Viper, Slaughter coming back, everyone's having the... It's fighting ready. False Promise still available too. It's kind of that fail-safe mechanism. It's still scary to fight into this lineup right now. Full 5-man. You don't have that initial burst, that initial jump in from the lasso. Don't really
It's
blame
going to
him.
change a bit when Puck gets his blink as well.
Yep.
He's pretty close to that. Morphling's going to start transitioning into, I imagine, E-Blade. I doubt he picks up Treads first in this kind of game. Because Ghost Scepter is just such a value picker. Lets you play a lot ballsier on the map. Like, well, the way they're positioned as
Deep
well
into
now
it.
is
They
really
will
good.
find November. He does have a waveform out plus a replicate. But he decides
There's
to
no way
go
he
for-
dies there with the Wyvern sitting behind him and they had like counter initiation necessary.
They showed that illusion though. Replicate.
I mean, it's good they kill it because Morphling's TP's on cooldown. They might not know that, or for how long it's on cooldown. But that just means he has to spend the resource.
Oh, Blink
So
crushed
everything
all
is
the way
free.
very, very deep here. He'll get the Winter Wyvern first. And looks like, yeah, they will be able to get out easy.
Radiant's middle tower is under
That was a
attack.
quick pounce.
Dire's
That'll secure the
bottom
tier 2
tower
tower
is
as well.
under attack.
That's exactly how they want to take fights.
Radiant's
Quick
middle
one and
tower
done, and
is
then
under
secure the
attack.
tower afterwards. Especially on a hero that's either like Puck or
Radiant's
Wyvern, who
middle tower
provide
has fallen.
half the D push for their team.
Still even securing the potential tower 9 in the bottom lane, and now enough. Replicate the 7 round. Will help his way. Coming his way, he needs some more strength like a madman, and should be able to withstand quite a bit. But now he's going to be running out of mana, running out of health points now. Finally, help comes. False Promise canceling that lasso. Calling a couple of heroes, snapping it right away. Drax still come through. Entire rest of CDEC now looking for vengeance, and they will find it at Bounty Hunter. Strength
I
Wall
think
is a good
EHOME are
thing.
fine with that though.
Dire's
Are they?
Because
top
meanwhile
tower is under attack.
Yeah, because Lifestealer's bottom, he's pushing a wave in, and as I was saying, this can be a problem with their draft, but if they're committing CDEC with like all 5 heroes and they're only losing a bounty who's still getting good income through these fights, it lets the Lifestealer push out the wave in this situation, and I think they're completely fine with it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
You know,
Right.
if you lose bounty for 2 free creep waves and lane equilibrium,
Okay, Puck
force
once
them to get
again
back, it's good.
forced going deeper here. Luckily up on the high ground. Oracle almost dies. Glimmercape keeping him safe. Now looking for the Ricky. He's still tracked up. Puck looking for a snipe in the back on the Oracle, but managing to dodge that one.
And that should queue up Roche if they feel comfortable enough. They've got the vision from the ward they just placed, so they're going to know when at least the Wyvern wants to come contest. I don't think they know exactly where the puck is though. This could throw a wrench into the works. But they take it so
It's so
quickly.
fast. It's so hard to get to gauge
Roshan has
when
won.
that's actually going down. Even if you want to go for some crazy steal attempt, which would probably not have worked out anyway. But yeah, Aegis in hand, Slaughter, the package ready to be delivered. Look for this tier 2 in the bottom lane and CDEC. Well, gonna have to abandon this one.
Yep, there's very little chance they're contesting because every time they've shown that they want to kind of defend a tower, they're getting punished. So Wyvern and Puck probably aren't going to feel comfortable defending anything outside their base. And the fact that he's getting picked off now is like so good for EHOME. Everything I was saying about them having to set a tempo and how CDEC can counterplay them, etc., is just getting thrown out the window because they're hitting everything that they want. You know, if you had a checklist for this game of what they needed to accomplish, maybe you could argue they'd like a few things a bit quicker than what they're actually getting them at. But they're accomplishing everything they need to win this game.
Yep.
And they're far enough ahead that Lifestealer feels like he can go for an Orchid, which completely changes the dynamic of this game.
Yep.
Now the heroes that he couldn't catch and kill before, unless he could burst them in a Slardar stun, that's suddenly completely changed. Morphling can't split push anymore. Maybe with Ghost Scepter actually, but the Puck definitely can't.
Silence on the Bad Rider. Walking in to work. Rage keeping him a little safe from the Firefly for just a little bit. We're still chasing this through. Quite a long time before I start turning around. But yeah, I was wondering whether they want to go back for the Echo Saber or whether that it was going to be that Orchid, which is not something that you always see in Lifestealer.
No, it's
This
a very
game, it
niche
makes a lot of
pickup, but
sense.
it's good, this game. You only get it when you're ahead and you can use it to counter the opposing team's cores.
Yep.
It's kind of like instead of a basher. It gives you more farm speed and slightly more scaling if you turn it into a Bloodfawn. I imagine he goes for AC or something else before he opts for that though. AC is just such a value pickup this game.
I bestowed on the Scimitar now, so that looks to be the way to go as tier 1 bottom goes down. Actually here, that's just something that's going to happen. Maybe for CDC, but now silence into the blink. I'm able to keep himself alive because of that, but seems like EHOME is the one who's really dictating the pace of this game, and now together once again find the Morphling, hard kill the best of times. The rest of the lineup here, they do actually find QD. Rage keep him alive a little bit longer, now silence on top of him. Follow-up silence here from the smoke inside the coil, so he will end up falling first. You do get the kill. Will they be able to get out June? Well, not so much.
That's a gem.
That's a gem on the deck too, in the hands of the Slaughter. Everyone else looks like, yeah, they'll be able to make it back to safety.
And they have a minute on the Aegis when Lifestealer comes back, which isn't going to be enough to force anything, except maybe another fight. So I think they'll take that situation where they take a gem for the Lifestealer's life, because gem is a lot more valuable.
Yep.
Especially when your honestly best form of initiation is through an Invis hero. Slardar's a lot safer, but if you can guarantee bounties not being tracked through sentries, etc., then it's easier to initiate with him. At least on the heroes that don't require a stun to die first. Like Puck doesn't require a stun anymore, Morphling does. He's like the only hero that they have to worry about stunning. Orchid does the job on the other 4. Providing you've got vision.
Out. This is smoke on the bounty hunter, not really keeping him down. The rest of EMK was ready to help him out. Do still end up pouncing on the Puck. There was another track kill, and they do get the track on the September here. Thanks for Gem making that possible. That's an easy kill there. They also find the Winter Wyvern on the side and Bat Rider on the other freaking side of the map. There's just things going from bad to worse within a blink of an eye, and now top lane gonna have a big creep wave coming through, and a tier 2 tower in their sights.
It feels like CDEC just don't understand when certain things are happening, they need to cut their losses and run. Because each time they've lost the team fights in the past 4 minutes, they're doing it in a way that they're kind of trying to do too much. They just need to kill creeps, honestly. It sounds extremely boring. So the position where Puck was in the trees over here, and then they decide to try and go on the Lifestealer here with 4 heroes, all they had to do was have Puck kill this creep wave, and the other heroes get out. and they're in a situation where EHOME can't push that lane in, get anything out of it, so they have to go to a different lane, which in an ideal world is being pushed out by Morphlink, which then delays the Aegis timing.
Radiant's
And
top
because they're not
tower
getting
is under
anything and they're
attack.
probably grouping up a decent amount, you're clawing back the economy game. And then Morphling maybe has a Z-Blade 1 or 2 minutes earlier, in ideal world 4 or 5 minutes earlier, and you can start counterplaying them a bit more. Whereas now, EHOME are just getting so much money that I don't think they need Aegis to hit high ground. They feel extremely comfortable doing this because of how tanky their Viper is. Lifestealer doesn't even need to hit the high ground. They can just slow siege this. Oracle might run out of mana, but that's the only thing that's they've got to worry about.
Oh, okay, Blink Lasso here. They do catch the Lifestealer coming through, and they will be able to burst him down. Nice little Winter's Curse here. That should take care of the Bounty Hunter. Not quite here. Mechanism keeping himself a little bit alive, a little bit longer. The rest of them still being stuck in the general AoE of death. Will take care of him as well as the Bounty. Viper now on the
Well,
one side. Meanwhile, Oracle in the back. Will Viper wipe the other way. Alright, this is how it could go
and the
as well.
jam as well. That's why I said the Lifestealer doesn't need to go up to the high ground, because the Viper was in a position here where the Oracle is here, and you can react with a false promise in time for the
Yep.
force staff. Lifestealer decided to go like here, which was out of range, and that's the entire reason that happened.
Yep.
And that's a huge lifeline for CDEC, because now they're going to get the waves all pushing in, which is going to delay EHOME into doing anything. So they're not just respawning and running to lanes, they've then got to spend 1 or 2 minutes to push them out, which CDEC can then counterplay. So now they've got the burst through the Morphling, and they're also setting all the vision up. Like this bounty that's coming down, if he runs in gem range, he's just going to get picked off.
Yep.
He has to be really careful now. And maybe they don't get 2 tier 2 towers, but 1 is very, very favorable for them.
And a lot of damage here, just courtesy of the creeps in the second at the very least. So.
Like, that was a bit of 3-2-2 to say the least. Hopefully they learn from that and can find a stride again.
That's also quite nice here. Secondary Invis Riki. This one does not break smoke though. The other one does.
Yeah, they need the gem on Slatter. He's a mobility hero. Bounty isn't fast enough to capitalize on that.
Let's try and
That's a
guess
narrow
widely.
escape. And that, again, either allows
Oh, Morphling actually comes in here. What are you doing? You're all alone. Riki comes back, but he has some more strength like a madman, and he does. In September, trying to trade, and now finally the help comes through. This Gambit definitely working out. A nice little triple crush, but where's the damage from Lifesteal? He's still burning in the fire and gets Snake on down. Bounty Hunter unable to help out whatsoever. Alright, it's a bold initiation here, but it did work out for them. They also catch a slot on the side. TP cancelled by the Yules. Nowhere for him to go now. Oh man.
It's amazing how quickly the game turns on one move.
Yeah.
Because
he met all the
before
cards, and then just... Man.
like, before that fight where they get 5-0, they're not going to feel comfortable. Oh, sorry, they're not even going to be in a position for that play to happen. But because that play did happen, they're in a position where EHOME are trying to push out lanes, and then they see this smoke get broken, so they're like, okay, we'll search for the Riki. You buy enough time with him messing you around, the replica becomes enough of a bait, and your heroes literally ran from here all the way up to here. That's how much time they bought.
Yep. Now all of a sudden they're the ones pushing high ground. There was a 10k gold swing up at the back of all of that. So, gonna take some time to consolidate here, push out the little lanes a little bit. There's still tier 2 to take.
I don't think they can. Like, the other game, you asked me if it was over. This is kind of the point where I'm thinking, well, if CDEC don't cock up, which, you know, it's Dota, people make mistakes. But as long as they don't make big mistakes where heroes don't have buybacks or they're diving fountains or giving away Roshans, they're in a position to just close this game out through controlled, calculated maneuvers. They're not going to close it out in 5 minutes, but they're in a position to like keep this going the entire game. The goal graph might not be as steep as the last 2 minutes, but it's going to keep climbing upward if they do it right. Because EHOME can't split, they have to group up. They might be able to split with like one hero, but that one hero has to be someone who can push out waves. And it's almost at a point, even though he's committing to it, and by something like Mjolnir, because they don't have wave push. And if you don't have wave push past 40 minutes, you're never going to be in a position to win the game unless CDEC hand it to you on a platter.
We're gonna see it here. There's a contest. Slaughter takes a death on the back of that Winter's Curse. So -1 already, make that -2 as the shotgun comes through. False promise on the side of QD as he tries to turn around on the Batrider, but the kiting is there. Do a lot of damage here, and he will pop at the end of it all. This is not the
That
way
was
back into
Desperation
this
Rush.
game. Yeah, it had to be even now. There's no silver platter for CDC to take. Meanwhile, alright, Puck. That's only a Glimmer K that won't last forever.
I mean, it used to. Then OS Frog decided no more OS Frog. Yeah, I don't blame them for going for that Roche at all. They needed something like that to get back into the game because sure, losing 10k gold in some games doesn't mean you've lost. But with how their lineup is built, the timings they wanted to hit, they want to be with the Roshan and ending the game at this point. They don't want to be sitting in their base having to push out 3 waves, which is what CDEC's going to make them do. Or they're going to feel confident enough to group up, because now they do have the Aegis. Unfortunately, it's on Ricky, which is really like the last hero you want it on, so they're not going to be able to be too confident and push. But the fact they even go for that just speaks to like how bad the game is for eHome now.
Why do you think they put on Ricky? It was just everyone right-clicking it, just worried about the bounty hunter even snagging it? But this Morphling, he could have dropped a stick or something.
It wasn't a like super controlled situation, so you just make sure you get it, you don't give it to Lifestealer. Because I think that was the only hero alive in the pit as Slider had already died. You know, if he gets Aegis there, you know, it's just more time, so you want to make sure you get it. Doesn't matter who.
Guess he
They
has
don't
Echo
need ideal
Sabers, so he can,
circumstances.
can do some
Like, well-
damage as well right now. Plus a Dagon now up to level 4.
Yeah, they've really hit their stride now.
And the graph just tells the entire story of this game. EHOME.K, just alright, good play here, just pressuring, just playing a normal game of Dota, just getting ahead, getting further ahead, and then just BAM! A straight line almost in the opposite direction, and now
And it all stems from one Lifestealer going a bit too far away from his support. He broke his leash and
it's crazy how
got
quick they can be right now. And now Viper also a little bit too far forward. This time around though, false promises there, and they want to try and use this to fight, but CDC already on the retreat.
yeah, it's not the hero they want to go on, so if you can't secure the lasso initiation, it's really good they just back off here. And they can go back to pushing lanes. To some, this might be boring, but it's how they have to play to not throw the game.
Yep.
You know, eHome can still win fights. It's not easy, it has to be a lot more chaotic, and they kind of have to be the ones on the front foot forcing the engagement, catching CDEC off guard. But they can still do it, so CDEC respect that.
Yep.
And continue this slow grind. It might even be up until the next Aegis where Morphling gets maybe 2 items by that point, depending how many creeps he can hit. This is really good though.
There it is, they do get the Batrider, looking for more, slow into arc, plus a silence, nothing to defend himself with, so it's 2 down immediately. Exactly what you were just asking for. They do find that green team fight almost. Rest of CDC.
And they got the gem
Get
as
that.
well, right? So Slider has one. What's the second gem?
Riki has one as well now. Sees the courier moving through. Gonna be completely at AC. Yeah, it is on Lifestealer. So they are sort of stabilizing right now, at least when it comes to their own base defense. They haven't lost anything. Okay.
Yet. The big problem is everyone might think, yeah, that's amazing. They just got 2 kills and a gem, but 2 heroes that don't really matter that much.
Yep.
In the scale of things. If you're leaving Puck and Morphling on the map, they're just going to do what they're about to do now. Sure, Puck TP'd back, but Morphling's pushing up bottom. And eHome are just about going to be able to use this to get the waves past the river and then secure some farm. As long as CDEC don't give them another pick off, that effectively means nothing. But if they do get a pick off here, then it's like they're way back into the game. So as long as CDEC are disciplined about it, they should be fine.
All good up.
They
November
could
doesn't
just
have too many
that.
health points, but now with the help coming through, starts him off, and plus the ultimate, wasting some of that PqMz time. The last on one, it's Oracle going down before he can throw out any more spells. November, well, he's super tanky, means he doesn't actually right-click for all that much, but into fair lads. Well, dangerous here to give up here, but here's a puck very hard to lock down at this stage in the game. So he should still able to do it here. Despite the smoke screen, despite everything being used, September also tracked out, trying to
Wow,
just
they got
drag
the
them
buff.
away from the rest of the team. And yeah, puck going down, it's one of the biggest damage dealers and controllers for CDEC. It doesn't have buyback. They don't have the Winter's Curse for another 40 seconds. This will
Yeah, the
probably be a
Morphling
sort of
straight
Drax,
up.
wouldn't it?
Bottom tower is under attack.
Like, in that position, I think you have to trust your Oracle. Sorry, not your Oracle, the Winter Wyvern. Like, he was close enough to embrace him, and you went to 4,000 health, so you effectively right-click for about 100 at that
120
point.
something, yeah.
Yeah, which is too little, and EHOME used that to their advantage, and they managed to convert into killing Puck and getting their axe. Which, considering the state they were in a minute ago, is really, really good for them.
Yep.
But they need that to happen again. They're still going to be in the same position when CDEC.
Okay, just
Stop
walk
giving them
straight by
pickoffs.
and enough. Well, crushed up again, silence. Once again, with the Wyvern, want to bail him out. Still mocking strength. There's the lasso here, just controlling up QD as much as they can. A little bit of burst damage here. They will be able to burst him down. Now the Winter Scourge just keep the Bounty Hunter away from helping him. The Viper, who's just being right-clicked down by a bunch of heroes at the stage. And it's finally the puck comes in. Another crush there from XE on the back of that BKB, but that's going to time out in a moment here. False Promise used early. Let's try and give him some extra time, but there's plenty of ability for CDC to try and track him down. TP, well, they don't actually cancel it. No, they don't need to. It's bursting him
think he
down.
would've lived if he
Big
blinked
numbers.
first.
Yeah. I could have
On
easily
the
blinked him
spot,
with
that
False
is.
Promise.
Yeah, because it looked like when the False Promise ended, he was alive. Unless that was just Dota TV lagging. Oh, sorry, not Dota TV, Perfect World.
Not entirely sure. I think he may have blinked a little bit before, but now Buyback's forced out
No,
already.
I saw that much, I just didn't see if he was already dead or not. Because he would have mitigated 3 or 4 autos, but regardless, whether he would have lived or not, it's still a shitty situation. I don't blame them for trying to take those fights, because the Morphling, like, his Manta was on cooldown, he was playing really, really ballsy at that point, and they nearly got punished for it.
Yeah. It's so close again, but Winter Wyvern, 4-star blink, can cover a huge distance. Only thing he's missing is Needle Lance, just at somewhere range in the Cold Embrace, but that's a good enough
I mean,
range
he
to begin
doesn't
with.
need it. His spells are like, ginormous
Yeah.
range.
But yeah, once again,
And
just turning
now-
that around on its heels.
Yeah, Scatty on Morphling as well now, so he doesn't have to morph as much strength, and as long as he doesn't use his Manta in a super greedy way, that he can't break the silence that's making him morph to like 4,500 health, he's going to be able to survive the initial engagement, kite away, and then provide enough damage that EHOME can't deal with it.
Yep.
Bloodfawn might mean they can kind of go first, break Lincoln's Manta, etc., and then kind of go again if they wait long enough for Infest. Or they can just burst a hero through because Bloodfawn offers a lot of damage. I always get amazed at how good this item is. It goes from like 17-second cooldown to 11 seconds, which is
Oh, the smoke
nearly
broken
50%
immediately,
of
and once
time.
again they find an off in the front, but once again the Golden Embrace puts a stop to all of that. BKB comes out, but see, already taking a bit of damage here. Lasso now almost on the high ground here, across the high ground on the side of QD, taking him out of the fight where also CDEC is ravaging EHOME.K, just sent them running and packing. False Promise had to be used on Oracle himself. So he will not pop to this right now. But he will also not be able to provide anything else in this fight. Silence on the park here, you'll have to keep him safe enough. Still around, live and kicking here, try and get the right clicks here. That teleport will be cancelled, so Viper will fall after the after the life stealer. When all is said and done, no one died on the side of CDEC, just because EHOME.K, once again, they keep committing, they keep initiating on the Morphling. who's now just finishing the full 5-man wipe together with the Batrider.
The thing is, that's the
And-
only target CDEC are giving them.
Yeah,
It's,
Dire's middle
you know, you can criticize them for taking the initiation if that's all they're getting, but if they don't take initiations when they're on this side of the map, they're never gonna get them. So they have to go
Desolator.
for it. Like, they were in a position where before they took the racks, the game was looking obscenely bleak. The game was still in the same state, it's just they had one rack, so it might look slightly better, but you know as a player, you have to take those chances because your timing is up. Your lineup has peaked. Anything you get from now is like a miracle.
Well,